YouTube, my name is Sven, welcome to the Metal Foundry. We all know what's happening right now in the world and I don't think I have to address that again, but one of the side effects, one of the things is there's been a lot of speculating about the availability of tubes, and I don't want to go into any more details about it because this is not a video about that. I wanted to look more at an alternative for tubes, especially when you're a guitar player at home. And therefore I wanted to shed my light at least on the Spirit Nano Series by Hughes Kettner. I've these three little amplifiers on loan from the distributor in Belgium, and I'm going to walk through each of them, get some tones out of it, and in the end I will share with you my opinion and what I think of them. So this is the Spirit Nano Series. These are little small mini heads, mini amplifiers of the same series. They all come with the same 4-knob tone stack, tone controls at least. That means they have a master, they have sag, they have tone, and they have a gain knob. And what makes this amp special is they are rated at 25 watts tube power, but they don't really have tube power inside. It's a pure solid state, but with their bionic Spirit technology, some kind of voodoo stuff that they put inside these amps, which wants to replicate the real feel of a real tube amp. And now today I want to look at this and figure out together with you whether you really need a tube amp to play metal or not. For this I'm going to use my LTD EC1000 loaded with EMG pickups. So I want to just start with some tones. I will start with the Spirit of Vintage. This is more their take on a plexi kind of amplifier. Sounds not bad. And this is the clean-ish tone. Now let's add a bit more gain to that. Switch to the bridge position. Add some more sag. Is now at 1 o'clock and the tone adds more treble. Takes away all the treble. Sounds like a nice vintage amplifier. I think you can boost this a little bit more with an extra pedal, but you have to bear in mind these amplifiers at least only cost €199, and if I would add an extra pedal on top, that would tear things a bit out of the equation. I think they're a very good pedal platform, don't get me wrong. Might as well add an overdrive pedal in the end. This is, I have connected my Screaming Overtones pedal. This is made by Overtones Guitar Maintenance. This is actually a good friend of mine who is maintaining my guitars, and he made an overdrive pedal himself. Sounds very, very cool. You can find that video of that particular pedal clicking the link upstairs. But this is the pedal, this is the amp without the pedal. And this is with the pedal. Cool. Now, let's switch to the Spirit of Rock. I should also mention that I'm recording the Spirit of Rock straight through my own Torpedo Captor X, loaded with my Blackstar Dynamic IR, the cab that I own myself, loaded with V30s. But you also have the possibility to connect these amps directly into the input of your interface to use the direct recording out, and then you will record an untreated sound of your untreated signal of your amp, so you can use your own impulse responses to record your own guitar tone with this one. Now I've connected the Spirit of Rock, and as I said, they have the same tone stack. They are rated at 25 watts. Let's check now how it sounds. I will add a little bit more volume. As you can hear, the breakup point of this amp starts at a different point where the other one ended. So now I am at 9 o'clock of gain. And then I go a little bit further. You have less need for a boost pedal to push it further. So this is actually a very, very cool sounding sound. Let's add a little bit more gain. Now let's play a little bit with the tone settings. I'm listening through my monitors here, and I hear, at least through this impulse response, through this dynamic IR, I hear, so when you go past the mid section, the middle section of the tone, you will effectively scoop the mids, as you can hear. Now it sounds darker, and it takes away the high end. But now it sounds actually a bit too scooped, so now let's go back. Okay, now the final amp in the whole series, the Spirit of Metal. As I said at the beginning, I've played with these amps before I recorded this video, and it's very interesting that you will hear right now that this little amp has the most gain of the three of them, which is logic because Spirit of Metal, but it also starts off where the breakup point of the other one ended. So as you can hear right now, the gain is at 9 o'clock. which is already a lot. The only thing that's lacking a bit is the real punch in the palm mutes. Therefore, it's a bit too clean, but if we can solve it easily by check the tone knob. Now it's dark and it takes away all the high end, as with the Spirit of Rock. But now it scoops a lot of the mids. This is more suited for a Metallica kind of sound from the Black Album. No, not from the Black Album. From the Justice for All era. You know, the end of the 80s, from 89, 88. That kind of sound. But for me personally, it sounded better when it was straight in the middle and more balanced. Now check to add more gain. It gets very distorted, but it lacks a bit of definition. It's not as clear as you had with the rock. With Spirit of Rock. It's funny, the amount of gain makes me think of the insane settings you could have on a Line 6 amplifier. So, in the beginning of the video I told you that we would try to find out if this really could compete with a real tube amplifier. And if you ask me, I really think that Hughes and Kettner did something very special with their bionic Spirit tone generator. It comes very close to the real workings of a tube amp in my opinion, and the feeling that I got when I was playing with this little amplifier. The only downside for me personally is that it doesn't have a series effects loop. From the three, two of them were my favorites. The Vintage and the Rock. The Spirit of Vintage and the Spirit of Rock were my favorites because those are more suited to use pedals with, in the front at least, especially an overdrive pedal. I know we haven't tried it with the Spirit of Rock, but with the Spirit of Vintage it was very nice with my overtones, with a screaming overtones pedal. And the Spirit of Rock didn't really need a overdrive or a boost pedal in the front because I was already using my EMG pickups. The Spirit of Metal, however, yeah, it has a lot of gain on tap, a bit too much gain to my liking personally, but still you can dial it in any way you want it. And if you want to play the real 80s thrash metal tone, you could go without any problem with the Spirit of Metal. It does perfectly what it does. It does what it promises. It offers you a whole ton of gain, but I prefer personally the Spirit of Rock because you have a little bit more versatility. Whereas the Spirit of Metal is more of a one-trick pony. That sums it up for me this week. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the tone that I played for you guys. Let me know which one was your favorite, and let me also know if you think that it really can replace a tube amp or not. I thank you very much for watching. My name was Sven. You've been watching the Metal Foundry, and I'll see you in a future video. Bye.